Sure. Okay. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Josephine Roach, and I am a breast cancer advocate, a speaker, an author, but most importantly, next week, I will be a 7-year breast cancer survivor. And today is October 1st, 2024, and it's special for all of us who are breast cancer survivors and people everywhere because October is known as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And as an advocate, I talk about breast cancer and I like to spread awareness. And I thought this month I would feature some of my friends that I've met along the way on my journey with breast cancer. So today I thought it would be so appropriate, October 1st, to have my friend Elise Harris on. And boy, Elise and I met, I would say 2 years ago, Elise. I think
Yes.
it was
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yes, it was.
And we at that time I was very involved with the Coleman Detroit Race for the Cure on their planning committee.
Mm-hmm.
And we were looking for some news stories. And I saw Elise online and I was very interested in what she had to say. She is a 3-time breast cancer survivor. So that caught my interest right away, going, what? Like, wow. And she had so much energy and she had just this way about her. And I thought, I've got to get in touch with this woman and we need to interview her for Coleman Detroit Race for the Cure. And that sort of was the beginning, I think,
Yes.
Elise.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, that was the beginning to a
Yes.
nice friendship
Yes.
because then Elise went on to join the planning committee for the race
Yes.
and becoming so important to the race. And she can tell you a little bit about that. But yeah, so then she became involved and our friendship grew and I learned a lot about her journey. But today I want her to tell you a little bit about her journey with breast cancer. So, Elise, take it away.
All righty. My mother, I'm going to start with my mom, Elise Harris. She died October the 1st, 1991 of breast cancer. She had it twice. And the second time that she had chemo, it was pretty potent. It was strong, and she was just saying she didn't want to take it anymore. And few days afterwards, she said, I don't want to take chemo anymore. And then she died October the 1st. Um, Before then, she would talk to me and my sister about our grandmother, Elise Anna Wade. She had breast cancer and she died at the young age of 44. She would always talk to us about our grandmother, finding the breast cancer. And then she would always tell me and my sister to be proactive about your health, being familiar with your body, knowing when something is not normal. So, what was it? May of 2002, I had all along been getting my mammograms. This particular time, I found the lump in my right breast. Because my mother had already had the talk with me, I was familiar. And when I found that lump, of course, I was scared. And I scheduled an appointment right away. I called Henry Ford Museum, got in, confirmed a week later that was invasive ductal carcinoma. They removed the lump. I had 6 rounds of chemo. And the chemo at that time was given through an IV. And my hair fell out, and my self-esteem was pretty low. And about a year later, my hair grew back. I started seeing a young lady, and my hair grew back longer, in fact. And then here it is, 2007. again, all up until this time, I've been getting mammograms on a regular basis. They kept calling me back because they found something suspicious on the mammogram. They found the calcifications. They removed, with the second time, they removed the calcifications. I continue to see the oncology doctor once a year. Then there was a huge gap from the 2007 to the 2018 when I was diagnosed again. Again, I was still seeing the oncology doctor all up until that time. 2018, I found the lump in my right breast again. It was stage 2. It was hurting. That's what really drew my attention. And I'm thinking to myself, here we go again. Went to the doctor, my aunt at the time who was alive. They pulled the image on the screen, and it was a black image, dark shadow. She said it was breast cancer. And um, I began to cry. I burst into tears. My aunt hugged me at the time, and I began crying, saying, "Why me? Why me?" So I got my things together, um, ended up going to have the surgery to remove the lump. Then I had to have a port installed. This was different from the first time. The nurse told me the cancer that I had was more aggressive this time than it was the first time. And I had to go to inpatient, outpatient where they put the port in. That did not feel good at all. I lay there while they put this device on the left side above my chest area. It was easier, from what I was told, for them to give me the chemo. My first chemo session, um, they numbed the area, or at least they thought they numbed it. I felt everything. 6 rounds of chemo. This again was more aggressive, hot flashes. I mean, just some everything. I felt so bad. The first time I had the chemo, it was not like this. The third time, all I want to do is just lay down. Thank God, both times I had chemo, I didn't throw up. I had the anti-nausea pills. Thank God. My mother didn't have that. Yeah, I would see her. Oh, it was just something to see her throwing up, running back and forth to the bathroom. Yeah, that was heartening, disheartening. And then a year later, my hair grew back, and things started to pick up a little bit. My hair slowly but surely started growing back, and my self-esteem started picking up. And then it's just, from there, it's just when I became involved with Susan G. Komen is what I really needed, because at that time, my self-esteem just, when I met you, Josephine, it just took off from here. When I met you, Jay and Jennifer, beautiful ladies, and just would always encourage me, and been flying high ever since.
Well, that is. I mean, it's a story. I mean, and what you had to go through and endure. And I'm sorry, but thank you for sharing, what you went through and sharing about your mother and grandmother, them having it, obviously
Yeah,
you seeing what your mother went through, and
yeah,
then you being diagnosed with it. And I'm sure the fear of
yes,
what was that going to be like for me? I'm sure, that was scary.
yeah,
And, like today, I want to just honor your mom, honor her, on this day. I mean,
yeah,
I know this is the day she passed, but to honor her, and I know she's looking down and she's so proud of everything you do. Elise does so much. I can't even keep it straight. She is great on social media, and she does a lot of advocacy work. And, I would like you to, talk a little bit about, some of the work that you do
Okay.
and why you do it. Why do you do this advocacy work and are involved everywhere? Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of those
Okay.
organizations and things that you do?
Well, one of them originally started out with Susan G. Komen. Susan G. Komen would always be my baby because it was the first advocacy group I got involved with. And they took me in, and I felt a part of the family. And it's just like this to go. It's just nonstop because so many people are being impacted by it. And in my church, there were a couple of ladies that I ended up becoming friends with, and they ended up dying from breast cancer. I would share them my journey. One of them called me her shero, and I'm like, well, I don't know about that. It's just it seemed like I would find the information, and it was just like for me to share it. And so my brother, he said, you have to reach back and you have to help other women. And I remember going through it. One of the agencies I just recently signed up with is the Pink Fund, being a Pink Fund admirador, I can't even talk, ambassador. And I remember when I was going through treatment and I didn't want to work and I was on short-term disability, my checks were less than half. I had a car note and rent to pay, and the struggling trying to determine, I have to pay my car note. I have to pay, I need prescriptions, for my medication. I had to decide which, and it shouldn't even be that. Here it is, I'm fighting for my life, and I got to look at which bills I can pay. So as a Pink Fund ambassador, that's the latest thing that I became active with because I know what it's like being on the other side of not having enough money to be able to pay your bills. And then two, voices of Black women. That is something actually I was asked to be a part of because I'm on LinkedIn, and Josephine knows this. I'm always sharing some kind of some kind of image or something on there, and she liked the post that I shared, and she asked me to be a part of it, and I share that all the time wherever I go. And then before that, it was being a lemonista. I love that. Yeah, all of the things that I'm part of. And actually, Josephine played a big role of it because some of it I didn't even know about. So give credit to being Josephine sharing that. And I so value our friendship. And I've learned so much from you, Josephine. You're a walking encyclopedia. But
Well,
I do.
thank you, but I know, but but you're the one who, took it and ran with it. So, I mean, I may have been the vehicle that showed you, some of these organizations, but you're the one who really picked it up and ran with it. And I think that's wonderful. And I know, there are different statistics with Black
Yes.
women. And so,
Yes.
can you share a little bit about that? Do you, some of the statistics I know are different from,
Yes.
yeah.
For whatever reason, I'm just going to say maybe for with Black women, whenever Black women get breast cancer, it's always in the latter stages. And some of the research I've done, they've said a lot of things play a role. Where she lives, where she works, the food that she eats, the atmosphere, and that's mind blowing. So since my diagnosis, I have with my eating and going to the doctor, it's not 100%, but it's definitely better than what it had been. And so, especially, I talk about it in my church. We have a mixture crowd. We have mainly a lot of Black women, and for the past 3 years, I've been getting there on the pulpit and just announcing that make sure that you do your monthly breast self exams, get your, be familiar with your body, as my mother would always tell, and just look in the mirror, see if there's any discoloration, anything. And I'm on the planning board with my church, and they all knew my mother. They knew my family members, and I just want to help, as many people as I can, to provide as much resources as I can to help everybody, because post COVID is just, you hear more and more people being diagnosed with
Right.
breast cancer, different types of cancer.
That's right.
And it's just, wow, it's
Right.
just sad, you know?
Yeah, no, and I just read today, it was through the American Cancer Society that there has been an increase, a 1% increase of breast cancer diagnoses of women below the age of 50.
Yeah,
And also a slightly higher, little higher than 1% increase in your 20s.
yeah,
And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I was just talking to a family member yesterday, and her sharing with me some of the people she knows who were diagnosed with breast cancer in their 40s. So
wow.
it seems to be more prevalent
Yeah,
again. Even though we're making advances in research, it just seems like it's becoming more prevalent, and you
yes,
hear it more.
yes,
And I think it's great what you're doing, because you're educating. Like you said, you get on the pulpit, you talk at church, the women at church know you, and they know, okay, she knows, what she's talking about. You're educating in that way, you're helping them. I mean, some of the research I've done is, yeah, some women are scared to go get mammograms.
yes,
And today I had my mammogram, so I was so happy to say that it was negative, and I'm
yes,
cancer free. So I'm just so blessed with that.
yes,
But yes, it is a little uncomfortable, but I mean, we have these screenings. So that's why
yes,
I always tell people, we have the preventative screenings. And again, just like you said, if you cannot afford it, there are organizations out there, but you
yes,
have to be your own advocate, right? You have to be
yes,
your own advocate. You have to
yes,
find those programs. And
yes,
they are, but you can come to somebody like Elise that can direct you in the right
yes,
place. And that's wonderful, to be an advocate and be able to share and be a resource. And I think what you did is you turned something that is not pleasant at all. And it was not easy, wasn't easy to go through, but you turned it around, and now you're giving back. And
yes,
that's what I love about you. You're giving back, and you're educating, and you have a passion. This is your passion, and that's what
yes,
if you can help these people, I know, I mean, you're making a difference for sure, for sure. And I'm just so happy you're out there advocating and being involved in, not just one, two, three, several organizations. So I'm happy that you're doing all of this. I'm happy that you're my friend. And I just love that you're able, to do all this. But, you talked about your breast cancer journey, and it spanned over several years. And,
yes.
and your mother, and your grandmother. And, but boy, when you meet Elise, I mean, she is a ray of sunshine. And I'm not joking. She is like a ray of sunshine. So, how do you keep such a positive
Um,
attitude?
Prayer. I cannot, each day I wake up, to say otherwise, I would be lying. You can't go through something like this by yourself. You have to have your family and your faith. If you don't have or believe in something after going through this will knock the wind out of you. So you either hold on tight or you just blow right over. And my mother, when she was alive, she would work at a plant, General Motors, because there was five of us, and her and my dad would work for the city, and five kids. She would work at the plant, and then she would her second job, she would clean house. And to see her come home and she would be wiped out so we could have a home
Mhm.
somewhere to stay. And I see that too a lot of times a lot of women that are going through the cancer treatment, they're single moms. They don't have a support system. And, they're trying to figure out, like, again, how am I going to pay my bills? My kids. And the young lady that in my church, she died. I talked about it last year. Well, actually, at the race recently, if you know someone who's going through treatment and they have kids, get their kids, babysit their kids, buy them gift cards, help out. Just don't sit there and just look. Actions speak louder than words. So just, you know, and again, the way you treat someone, watch how you treat someone during that time, when they're going through that treatment, because you never know. I mean, you may end up having a family member, you know, end up going through that. So you really need to be nice to people.
Right.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
no, that is true. And yeah, what you're saying is, support is so important. And
it is.
and when you're able to give back that support that you received, it's a blessing, right? I
It
mean,
is.
I remember the outpouring, and I've said this many times on different platforms. I didn't know what I meant to people until I got breast cancer. I
Mhm.
didn't know, just the outpouring from family, friends, people I didn't even know. And like what you said, sometimes you're saying, let me know what I can do for you.
Right,
But you know
right,
what? That's not enough, I don't think.
right,
Just like you said, just do
right,
it. Just do it. Like
right,
you said, the gift card, the meal,
right,
whatever, let's talk. Those
right,
are the things you have to just put it into action, because a lot of times, yes, people mean that. They do mean, what can I
right.
do to help, or I'm here for you. But how many times do we actually then go, okay, we pick up the phone and go,
Yeah,
okay, this is what I need. We don't. We really don't,
that is true. That
so
is
I
so
think what you said was so important, that you just do it. Just put it into action. And that's a way. Like I said, support is so vital
it
in this,
is. It is.
so vital. And by
Yes.
you sharing, again, understanding what your mother had to do, and she was supporting, all of you.
Yes.
And she was a wonderful role model, it sounds like, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she was strong. Yeah, she was a strong woman. So I'm sure that's probably where I got that from.
That's a wonderful trait to have. That's a great trait to get, right?
It is. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah, it
I
is.
mean, so you can always look back and just say, what your mom did. And then, here you are turning around and supporting and helping others. So, again, turning something that is not pleasant, a cancer diagnosis, and now giving back. I think it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing that you do, and just beautiful that you're able to share with so many people and give people hope. Give
Yeah.
people hope. My goodness, a three-time breast cancer survivor. I'm not joking here. Three times.
I
I
look, and I
mean,
got
I
this.
and you just give me hope.
Mm,
And I mean, yeah, do we have a fear as breast cancer survivors? All the time.
yeah.
That
Yep.
fear was
Yep.
very real today.
Yep.
Every time I have to get that
Yep.
mammogram, I was a wreck.
Yeah.
And yes, in the morning, I prayed to God,
I know.
and I prayed to
Hmm.
my mother who's passed to help me.
Hmm.
And I got down there. I had the support of my husband, who's always come, just like what we just talked about, support. But I
Hmm.
was scared, and I
Yeah.
talked all the way down there in the car. And I know we like to talk, Elise, but I talked all the way there because I was nervous. I even
You're
told my
right.
husband, I'm nervous. That's why I'm talking so much. But you know, and unfortunately, cancer is never going to leave us. I don't think that. It's always, good. We
Mm,
we fought it, we got through it, we
right.
won, but it's always in the back of our minds, isn't it,
Yeah.
Elise?
Yes, that is so true. I was asked that the other. Do you think yeah, if I told you that I did, I would be lying. It's right here. I push it all out, but it's yeah.
It
Mm-hmm.
is. It is. But, like I said, we're out there, you're out there, we're spreading awareness, and I think that's what's so important. And that's why I wanted to start this this October 1st with Elise, because I thought, who would be the best person to start this series with? And I thought, yes, it has to be Elise. And we're honoring your mom today. And I just thought it was perfect. It was a perfect when I talked to you the other day. And I thought, okay, this is who it's got to be Elise. So I'm so happy that you joined today. And I just want you to like leave us with, one thing that you'd
Okay.
like to share about breast cancer. What would you like to tell people? One thing.
Please take care of yourself, ladies. Do your exams. That's how I found the first time. I looked and I felt, and it was not normal. And I followed up with a doctor. I know you're scared. When you find something, take a family friend with you. Don't do it by yourself. You know, that's scary in itself when you're facing something, that C word, the cancer. Just, and if you have kids, just like I say, take someone with you. Um, Go in and just hold your head up high and just whatever the news, you want to catch it in an early enough stage, especially with that new breast density law. If you have dense breasts, and that's like kind of like with a precursor that'll help you fight breast cancer early. So women, men, stay active, know your body, know what's your normal.
Right. That is great advice. Yeah, we have to know our own bodies. That
Yeah.
is awesome advice, very important advice, because sometimes we just get so caught up in our lives
Yes.
that we are doing for everyone else but ourselves. And self-care is so important. And, like you said, doing those monthly exams, making sure you get your, mammogram. I mean, great advice. Now, I'd like you to share because, Elise is an advocate. She's on many platforms. So if you'd like to share with us the platforms that you're on, so people
Okay.
can, take a listen, or I know you have a
Okay.
YouTube channel. Can you just share that with everyone?
I don't know the link. I am on, let me see, the YouTube channel. Where is it? Unfortunately, I don't have it in front of me. I'm sorry.
But I think
I'm
you
on,
can Google your name, maybe in
yes.
YouTube. Can we just put Elise Harris in YouTube?
There are so many Elise Harrises.
Okay.
But you,
How
my
about
people,
Elise Harris breast cancer? Maybe. I
I
don't know.
kid you not. But when I pulled it up today, that's so funny. I saw Elise Harris. I saw on the canvas reel. I saw my
Okay.
picture.
Well, there you go. That's funny.
I am on Facebook. I am
Okay.
on Instagram, instagram.com/Elise Harris. And then I'm at Twitter at Elise Harris 06244887. And then I'm on LinkedIn, Elise hyphen Anna hyphen Harris.
Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's pretty much
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yep. And she has a wealth of information. She's constantly posting things about breast cancer awareness, different events. I mean, she's got it all. So
My,
definitely check out Elise Harris, Elise Harris, Harris. And I thank you. I thank you for spending time with me today, Elise. I thank you for sharing your story, which is a very tough road. I know it's not easy sharing your story, but I think you helped somebody today, if not one, maybe many women. So
I,
I
I
really appreciate
thank you for the invitation, Josephine, my friend.
it. That's great. So until next time, everyone, I will be back. And I will, again, now I have to figure this out. But it was nice talking to everyone out there and especially getting to know Elisa's story. So have a great rest of your day wherever you are.
All right.
Bye.